Hi, this is Joe Welinske. I'm the program manager for ConveyUX, the annual Seattle UX event that's coming up for the 5th annual year, February 28th to March 2nd in Seattle. And I'm fortunate to get the chance to talk to many of our speakers. And today I'm speaking with one of our featured speakers, Peter Merholz. Hello, Peter.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, it's nice to have you with us. So where are you speaking to me from today?
San Francisco, California, the offices of IBM, our new Watson West facility.
All right. Well, I know I know you pretty well from your background. I think most people in this our profession are very well informed about you. But why don't you just talk a little bit about your background and the types of things you're up to now?
Yeah. So if I go back far enough. Degree in anthropology, got my start doing digital design in the CD-ROM era, working for a company called Voyager, but then transitioned into more of a design agency world with a company called Studio Archetype during the first web boom. And then also during that first web boom was the head of design at Opinions, which was one of the kind of signature startups circa 1999 and 2000, and then left Opinions to start, if anyone knows of me or about me, they probably know my association with Adaptive Path. Started that in 2001, one of the first consultancies dedicated to user experience as distinct from usability or other design practices. Helped lead Adaptive Path for 10 years, left in 2011, and have been in-house in a few different companies, probably most notably Groupon, where I was the VP of design, and then recently joined IBM Design, currently working on the team that's building IBM's blockchain business, so helping lead design for blockchain, and I have a specific focus on digital identity. And then, but kind of parallel to this, spent the last year-ish, year and a half, writing a book that was released in August, September for O'Reilly, a book called Org Design for Design Orgs. There's very little out there for design leaders and design managers in terms of how to run the teams that they are building. So wanted to fill that void with what I've learned.
Well, yeah, I know you're always involved in a lot of things, a lot of new things. Besides finishing that book, any other hot topics that you're working on right now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the hottest topic I'm working on right now would be the subject of my day job, which is around digital identity. How do we create a trusted digital identity for the 21st century and beyond? Currently people have, we as normal people have to, log into all these different services all the time, all these username and password combinations that we forget. So there's this challenge just in terms of handling identity from a pure day-to-day perspective. Then there's there's services because passwords aren't strong enough. You get these password tools like 1Password that are trying to make identity stronger, but only a very small subset of the population uses them. But there's this issue that identity theft and hacking is on the rise, and so how do we help people kind of protect what's theirs, share what they want to, when they want to, only with who they want to, and do so in this kind of way that recognizes kind of the new context that is the internet, right? I mean, all of us still have our paper IDs, right? Passports and driver's licenses and stuff like that, but we're living in an increasingly digital world that doesn't really take those into account. So that's the area that I'm kind of digging in and trying to better understand.
Well, yeah, well, it's a pretty interesting area. I'm sure it's a lot of fun working on that at IBM. You're doing a lot of interesting things for us at the conference too. So you're doing a half-day workshop. That's 3.5 hours of information. That's org design for design orgs. And then you're also doing a feature presentation later in the program called The Experience is the Product. So, yeah, maybe give us a little bit of a thumbnail of what to expect from those sessions.
Yeah, so for the workshop, this is a taste of the material that's in the book, and focusing on organizational models for design teams. Should a design team be centralized? Should it be decentralized and embedded into different product teams or business units? I actually will be proposing a kind of hybrid that I've built and that I found to work quite well in teams that I've run. Also touch on the evolution of a design organization. We've charted 5 stages of the evolution of a design organization, what roles you need at what time. So as part of this, there's also developed a new taxonomy of roles, trying to make job titles and roles clear, because I think in user experience and design teams, there's a lot of confusion just around what's a UX designer, a UX UI designer, a product designer, all that kind of stuff. I think there's roles that are not recognized as essential that ought to be, such as content strategist within design teams. And so talking a bit about that. So the workshop will be for anyone who is, definitely anyone managing, leading a team and figuring out how they can perhaps do more and do better in terms of structuring that team. But I've also seen that it's for more kind of senior designers, even if they're individual contributors, I've seen it can be helpful for them in terms of articulating kind of their space within a team. So that's the workshop. The presentation is a little different. It's addressing kind of my some of my challenges trying to integrate mesh product management with user experience. I think as designers and people working in user experience continue to elevate within their organizations, they inevitably engage with product management, and one hopes that it's a positive engagement, but often it is not. It can be a little contentious. And so this presentation is a framing of kind of the relationship between product management and user experience. I won't say a whole lot more because I don't want to spoil the talk.
All right.
But I think it will. It should catalyze some interesting discussion around just the nature of these roles. And I'll leave this question: Are they different, or are they basically the same?
Well, I'm looking forward to having you here. We've been talking about getting you to our event for a while, so looks like we're finally going to do it, and we'll see you pretty soon.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I've heard great things about this event since you guys started it 5 years ago. I think the timing is, just never worked out in prior years, so I'm happy we're able to make it work this year.
All right, well, great. Thanks a lot, Peter.
All righty. Thank you, Joe.